Okay.
Welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner, and today we will be doing another animated matchup between Rescuers Down Under and Road to El Dorado. And in determining the winner of this matchup, we go based upon plot, main characters, side characters, songs, humor, villain, cast, romance, memorability, action, and themes. Now let's go ahead and get right into it. For plot, we gave that one to Road to El Dorado. From the title, you can pretty much guess. You have Miguel and Julio, and they have to, they don't have to. They are following a map that supposedly leads to El Dorado, the city of gold. And as it turns out, they do find it, but in so finding it, they are mistaken for being gods that are supposed to bring about the new age. So that's just a brief little thing of it, but the movie works really well. I personally enjoy the plot, and my brother enjoyed it, and it has a very nice progression to it. Rescuers Down Under, kind of like, just the Rescuers. You have the two mice that have to go in and rescue this boy that has been kidnapped, and he was kidnapped after trying to save a golden eagle, and that's really good. But there's really not much to it. There's not really I can't say there's too much to either one. There's a lot more to El Dorado, and there's a lot of kind of character arcs too, which is interesting. But just the general thing of them, they're kind of con men, and they're put in this situation where all of a sudden they have all this wealth and power and everything, but there's these rules that they have to try to follow and to sidestep around it. It's interesting. But moving on to main character, we also gave that to Road to El Dorado for Miguel and Julio, because even though they're con men, they're very likable characters, and they do have growth throughout the movie, and they work really well together. They're a really good pair of characters. They balance off each other very well. So for side characters, though, we gave that to Rescuers Down Under. Road to El Dorado doesn't have too many side characters. You have Chell, which is one of the romantic interests that turns up in the movie. So you do have her, and then you have the chief. But aside from those two, that's really it. There's not too many side characters. Whereas Rescuers Down Under, you got different animal side characters, and then you got the boy that was kidnapped, and and he works really well as a side character. So for that reason, for songs, we gave it to Road to El Dorado. Rescuers Down Under, I don't recall there actually being any songs in it. It's just more of a soundtrack, which is fine. It works nice. But Road to El Dorado has some really good songs to it that they incorporate throughout the movie, and I think they work really well. Humor, we also gave it to Road to El Dorado. It is by far the funnier movie. It has so many more scenes in it. Rescuers Down Under does have humor, and some of it's really nice. Most of the humor involves the lizard that's in it. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but Road to El Dorado just has a lot more of it, and it's done really well. For villain, we gave that one to Rescuers Down Under. The poacher that is the villain in that movie. He's pretty funny too, and he's a bit of a dirt bag, like you can expect from a villain, but he's really likable as a villain. Whereas Road to El Dorado can't fully grasp onto one villain. It has actually two, and one very much believes that he's doing the right thing and everything, that he's doing things the way they should be done with his religion and all that, but he's not in the movie long enough to really work. Whereas Rescuers Down Under, the poacher is a dirtbag, and he knows he's a dirtbag, and he doesn't care that he's a dirtbag. So there's something really likable about that. For cast, we gave that one to Road to El Dorado. Just the voice cast, it works better. It brings a lot more to it with the three main people I mentioned, Miguel, Julio, and Shell. They work really well, and even the priest that ends up, that is one of the villains, works really well. So for romance, we gave that one to Rescuers Down Under. They both have a romance, but Rescuers Down Under does one better, and it is kind of bringing it from what was established a little bit in the first movie. I remembered the names now, between Miss Bianca and Bernard, so they kind of build upon that more so in this one, and it works better. Well, I wouldn't say better, but it works better than the Road to El Dorado one, which is good. They're actually both pretty good relationships that build up, very believable. But I like Rescuers Down Under. It has more structure to it, and it's more involved throughout the movies, and it works better that way. For memorability, we also gave it to Rescuers Down Under. It just, Road to El Dorado's, like I said, good movie. It doesn't have too many scenes that really stand out, though, whereas Rescuers Down Under, mostly with the Golden Eagle, but it does have several moments that really stand out, like with the boy on the Golden Eagle when they're flying through the clouds and everything, or when they're about to all be dropped down into this, this small pond or what have you that has alligator or crocodiles in it rather, and just moments like that really stand out. For action, we gave that one to Road to El Dorado. They both have a little action to it. Road to El Dorado has more engaging action when with the priest and everything, so we think it works a little bit better. And for themes, we gave it to Rescuers Down Under because there's this whole concept of not just the poaching aspect of it, and the kind of eagle who's protected and all that, and the boys kind of resolve, but also between Bernard and Bianca, there's a whole deal there about kind of what they're willing to do and then progress, like their relationship and everything, and how much they're willing to sacrifice to try to save this child and all that. And there's a few things in there actually to do with morality and what's right and all that, which is interesting. But anyway, so for the final tally here, we have a 5-6 vote in favor of Road to El Dorado. So the Road to El Dorado takes it, and deservedly so. This movie is a Dreamworks movie. It's one of their older movies, but if you haven't checked it out, please do. It's a really good one. I almost want to say it's more adult themed. I think it is more adult themed than you will see in a lot of animated movies, which is interesting because actually, if you look at DreamWorks movies, they have several movies that are more adult themed, and a lot of them started before Pixar came along, which Pixar kind of works towards both kids and adults, but DreamWorks has some older films that certainly do that as well. But also, if you haven't seen The Rescuers Down Under, I recommend to watch that because that's also a good one. But anyway, guys, so that'll wrap this up. Hopefully you enjoyed this vid, and you click that like button, share, and watch my other vids. Subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you guys, taking the time to watch. Comment which one you think should have won, or just even if have you seen them both? Because I'm really curious how many people have actually seen The Road to El Dorado. Like I said, it is an older animated film, and a really good one. Rescuers Down Under is also a bit older too, compared to a lot of movies. I think these both occurred back in the early 90s, but I could be mistaken. But anyway, so thanks guys, and until next time, peace.